Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Joni Young, and today I'm going to be showing you how to paint inside of a wave. So we're going to start off with neon pink, a large blending brush, and we're going to pull across diagonally. Keep spreading that paint around. We're going to take some orange now, it's neon orange, with a little bit of titanium white, and we're going to start that in the top right corner and then start to gradually blend that into that pink. We're going to bring in some more white, and then we're going to pull in the opposite direction. I'm going to add a bit more white to make soft rays from the sun. Now I'm taking some turquoise and a little bit of phthalo blue, and I'm pulling up towards the center, and then we're going to take that color again with a little bit of white and some water and then go diagonally across it. And we're going to do this part way, and then we're going to get a clean large blending brush and just kind of blend that in softly, barely touching the canvas. Okay, now I'm going to take a flat brush with some more white and a little bit of that neon orange and brighten up this sun area a little bit more. But we'll come back to that later. I'm going to start some clouds. And we'll work on the top of our wave up here. Taking sap green and orange, mixing the two together. We're going to pull in our horizon. This is our little tropical island with our palm trees that we're going to add later on. So we're going to pull it out just to the center, and it's going to get skinnier and be wider on the right side. Then we're going to do some shadows and ripples in the water. So thick lines, again using a mixture of sap green and orange, and then you can pull in some phthalo blue as well. We want it to be quite of a muddy earth tone. Now taking some phthalo blue, I'm going to start the curve of this wave. So just wiggling with my brush. And then scumble across the top. It'll lightly blend into that wet paint up there, creating some nice mid-tones. And we're going to pull around. Remember, you want it to feel circular, so you're going to pull and curve with your brush. You want those round brush strokes. So I'm still using phthalo blue. And then I'm going to use a combination of neon pink, phthalo blue. I'll even add in a little bit of turquoise in some areas where I want it to be a little bit brighter and have just that punch of color. So right here, this looks so pretty. So that's turquoise, and then a little bit of titanium white over top. So it'll be very bright right here because this is right by the sun. The sun is going to be casting some rays and highlights on the top of this wave curl. Let's add some turquoise right underneath that phthalo blue and inside part of it. And then more phthalo blue for shadow. So I'm just going to keep pulling in different shades of all of these colors building up my light and shadow areas. Okay, now I'm going to start working on some clouds in here, and I've got orange, sap green again, a little bit of phthalo left over in my brush, maybe a little bit of pink. You can mix all those colors together. You just want it to be sort of that muddy tone again. And these clouds are mostly in shadow. And then I'm going to add a little bit of turquoise and white inside of them, just to give them a little bit of dimension and softness. I'm using a filbert brush right now for this. And I'll list all the colors and brushes I'm using in the description below. But we'll be using a liner, this filbert, using a flat brush, an angular brush, and a large blending brush. I'm just going to add some soft flicks with the leftover white paint in my brush to scumble it. And then add a little bit more turquoise and white again. Such a pretty soft minty green color. And we'll follow through with a reflection and ripples and highlights in the water. Neon orange and white. Don't think that you have to blend the colors up all on the palette first. You can take a little scoop of each color, load your brush up with them, and then let it pull through and fall naturally where it does on the canvas as you're pulling that paintbrush. You get a much more natural look, and it's kind of more exciting to paint that way. Neon pink, phthalo blue. I'm going to be using some neon purple violet too. So for the shadow colors, the phthalo, sap green, neon pink, light purple violet, neon orange, just any color but white or turquoise. And just have fun experimenting with colors that you choose for your highlights and your shadows. You don't have to follow every single brush stroke and line and color that I'm using. You can use any combination of these colors I've got on my palette today and create your own wave with them. As long as you've got highlight, shadow, and those mid-tones. So I want to build this island up a little bit lower, make it thicker, bring it right down to that water and that horizon line. So I'm using phthalo blue, and you can mix in a little bit of neon pink as well. And that wave curl is just cutting kind of right in front of where that island ends off. I used to think that painting a wave would be so hard, and I was always intimidated by it, but it really is actually a lot easier than you would think. You just have to give it a try and look for those lines and where all those lines and those shadows fall, and have fun with color. It really is an enjoyable subject to paint. I'm going to be doing a few more of these for you guys. in the following months. So January, February, in January right now. I did promise some florals for you guys in January, so I'm working on uploading a big English floral flower garden type of landscape right now that's really pretty. It's inspired by the late Thomas Kincaid, one of my favorite artists. So if you don't want to miss that, subscribe to my channel and tap that bell so you get notified when I upload a brand new video. So just adding a little bit of a highlight right here, way in the distance there. It's just white with either pink or orange, or you can mix the pink and orange together with a white. It looks really pretty. And I'm actually adding white and orange inside right here. This gives it that kind of that glass see-through kind of illusion in the wave when you have all of these highlights and shadows. And then I'll throw in some neon pink right there. I love my neon colors. And I have to say the neon purple violet, a lot of you guys are asking where I get that because it is not the same as magenta. I always let you guys know if you don't have the neon purple violet by Holbein, that you can use quinacridone violet or magenta, but I tried that today and it really is not the same. I mean, it's okay, but you're not going to get that same pop of color or that intensity that you would with the light purple violet. So if you can, try to get it. I know you can find it on online and at art stores, and it's really worth it. It's not the most expensive paint. It's definitely not the cheapest, but a little goes a long way with it. So I'm just going to pull in some more of that mint color that I made by adding white and turquoise. And let's go back to our neon pink. Add some in the corner down here, and then we're going to bring that over and follow through underneath the clouds. And then some more neon orange. And you can see when it mixes in, I'm trying to purposely blend it into a little bit of that blue and purple to create that muddy color that it'll make sort of a brown, greenish brown color. And you want that. You want some earth tones, muddy tones in your paintings when they're really colorful. You need that balance. Okay, with my liner brush, and you can use any size you like, or you can use a round brush for this. Take titanium white, put it right underneath where that wave is curling around at the top, and start flicking and blending. Now I've switched over to my FILBERT so I can do a nicer job of the blending. So you just want to pull and flick in all those directions, wherever you want those light rays to fall. And then back to the liner brush, and I'm going to do some little scoops and loops around here to give that illusion of all those patterns in that wave curl and that water coming over. And then some fine lines and highlights. Let's outline this part of the wave. Kind of has a frilly sort of a look to it. So you can create that frilly kind of a look by using a liner brush and doing lots of little wiggles and little half circles. Okay, let's do a few more highlights with this fine liner brush and white. You might need a little bit of water on your brush to help work that paint out and let it flow nicely. And then we'll get started on our palm trees. We'll add a bit of phthalo in here, mixed with a little bit of turquoise. Okay, so we're going to do 2 or 3, maybe 4 palm trees, kind of all different directions. And I'm going to use the FILBERT to do all those little palms with a mixture of phthalo and pink. So palms are so easy to do, you really just need to know which brush to use and how to use it. So I've got lots of videos on tropical seascapes. I'll have a link below for a playlist of those if you'd like to learn step by step how to paint palm trees, but I'm really just taking that paint, pulling out and flicking short little flicks with a brush. And you want your palm leaves to go in all different directions. And these ones are all in silhouette, so they're not going to have any highlights on them, making them even easier to paint. Now you could paint them black if you wanted to. I just think that would be a little bit boring. Why not use color where you can? It's so much prettier. So we'll sneak another one right down there, and then we'll just build this up, give it a little bit more height. I want to take a clean brush, filbert, white, and a little bit of orange, and just outline and then pull and flick for those soft rays. So we're just outlining a little bit around those clouds. And then we're going to make sure your wave is dry up top where you're working with your sun and the white. And then you can scumble over the top of that wave a little bit. Add a little bit more turquoise now that this has had some time to dry. Now I want to bring in some phthalo blue mixed with just a little bit of white right up in here. I want some more color. We've got that deep purple, almost indigo underneath, and you can still see some of it. I didn't cover it completely. You want to have some of those shadows peeking through a little bit still. I'm going to add a little bit of light blue and white inside of these clouds, and some more turquoise. So outline these clouds just a little bit more and soften those rays. It's really a process with the sun when you're working with sun rays, because you want to have that paint dry in between each layer. So what I do is I just go back to working on something else and let that dry, and then I go back to it. I want to add more of that neon pink down in here. And it's transparent, which is nice, so you can just use it like a filter, paint over something that's dry, and it won't cover everything up. It'll just enhance it with transparency of color. And again, I'm using Holbein neon acrylics. I'm going to pull a little bit of that orange and pink right through here. Need a little bit more intensity of color. And then with a liner brush, I'm going to do a few little squiggles, outlining that cloud and giving it a little bit more detail. Now those palm trees are dry. I can do a soft little highlight from that sun over top of them. And then I'm going to add some neon yellow. So the neon yellow is transparent as well, so I can add a light layer of that as a filter over part of the white, part of the orange. I'm going to tap in a few little bushes or trees, just giving this little island a little bit more interest and detail. This painting is just about done. I'm just going to add some more orange underneath the clouds and on the top of the wave, so right above the sun. It's going to go over part of that purple and blue, and it will look a little bit brown, but we want that. So it's going to look more like the wave curling over and that water starting to drip. And I'm going to tap in just a little bit of foliage, again with that neon orange over on our island. So right here, I'm just going to do some little scoops and little loops. The orange is mixing in just a little bit with that purple, but it looks really, really cool. So I want to thank you guys so much for joining me again today in my studio. I wish you happy painting. Please don't forget to like this video, comment, and subscribe. See you next time, everybody. Bye for now.